Yeah guys, hi. Эргээд дагалсандаа тавтамаар л. За илүү олон хүн бас наганараа хэлээ guys. За best of 2 дахь map Dust 2. 7-2 эртэд олцсон явж байна. За 7-2 бид нар орж ирээд нэг нэгээрээ төлөвлөлээд 2 эсрэг нэг болоод за унсан широ. За тоглолтын нанаар 7-3 болсон энэ circle багийнхан раунд авчиж байгаа юм байна. Дүрс муу байна. Угсаал бүрс цаанаас муу байна уу? За. Та бүхэн таамаглаж байсанчлан яг л аимшигтай копирайтын араас ирлээ. За шортер бүшилцсэн. Гарч ирээд пикортка техникэл яг давж байгаа зүрлээ 3D-ийн донк хийгээд дахиад араас нь DV-г унгаагаад 4 эсрэг нэг өөрөө 1 HP-тэй амьд үлдсэн байж байх юм. За чи нээж хэдэж ботчихгаад өөрөө баригдангаа алдлаа да. Хэрхэн байгаа гэдэг нь YouTube-ийн AI ингээд сонин балаа юм шиг барьчаад байна. YouTube-ийн AI намайг бүр нэр үнэхээр балалж байна guys. Бүр баларж байна. Тэгэнгүүтээ сая copyright авсан чинь саяны copyright зааж байгаа шортоор дайрлаа. Үй хаашаа гарч ирж байгаа юм бэ Zontix. Magix-ийн тэрэ дамжилт орж байгаа 2 эсрэг 3 болсон. За мэдэн кроссыг барих гэдэг байгаа. Донк ап авцсан. Ой гараад ирж байгаа донк шууд унгасан. За ардаас нүлэж юмыг сонсож байгаа гараад ирнэ. Нэг HP-тэй донкийг унгаагаад авч байгаа. Ямар ч сүүлийн тоглогч байрлалыг бол мэдсэн байгаа. Бомбо тавина. Апа аваад сэвлэх үү. Би нэг copyright аваад тэгээд тэр copyright mail явуулангаад live шууд эхлүүлчихдэг байсан чи энэ удаагийн copyright намайг live хийх боломжгүй болтол нь copyright өгөөд тэгээ би дахиж live эхлүүлж чадахгүй байсараад mail явуулсан чи mail-ийн хариу нь хурдан ирж тараад тэгээ буцаагаад live хийх хэрэг явлаа шүү дээ. Тэрнээс бол би нэг copyright аваад ардаас нь шууд юу ячаадсан баггүй. Нэг copyright аваад ардаас нь лайва шууд эхлүүлчихдэг байсан. Нэг copyright тахад гайг байсан. Тэгсэн чинь сая copyright авсан чинь бүрмсэн лайв хийх боломжгүй болгоо хийчихдээ. Тэгээд лайв хийж чадахгүй мэйлээ явуулчаад хүлээж, апилээ явуулчаад хүлээжсэн чинь хариу нь эргээр ирээд тэгээд лайв хийх боломжтой боллоо. Тэгэхээр юу гэсэн үг вэ гэх юм бол guys дахиад copyright авах юм бол юу яана гэсэн үг. Live хийхгүй уднаа гэсэн үг. Нэг copyright аваад араас нь шууд live хийчихэд байдаг гэсэн бол энэ удаад бол бүр байхгүй. Нэг copyright авах юм бол live хийтлээ удна. За шууд rush speed аваад оролоод ирж байгаа. Smoke-ныхаа цаанаас нэг үнэгаа donk-ийн trade орж ирсэн. За 4-3 хүний давтаа энэ удаад retake тавалдаар олж ирнэ. Яа энэ удаа дахиад нэг copyright авчвал live-гүй бүр балархнаа guys яана. За широ туннел дээр нэг болж гараад буудалтай алдчихж байгаа. Flash энэ гарч ирсэн. За широ donk 2 гил широ дахиад апар зонхыг бариад авч байгаа. Тоглолт. Sprint-ийн талд 9-3 эрцээд байгаа ихний ахсаг өндөрлөж байгаа юм байна.
Hey guys, this is Mahone and I'm going to break down how the pros hold long A on Dust 2 so you can do it just like them too. Let's go. Usually at the start of the round, you want to pay attention to the spawns. That's because only the best spawn for the CTs gets past this corner before the best T spawn peaks. So the best use of this spawn is to try to get a Molotov down at the doors right away to stop a potential rush. Now keep in mind, if you don't have the best spawn, the T's can already be holding you. With a Molotov down at doors, the next component is to have a second person throw flashes to blind the T's as they come out. One of the most common ways to do this is just over the building from the long crossing. The flash will blind T's holding from the doors, so even if you don't have the best spawn, you get a brief window to cross the angle. It's possible to throw this flash too early, so the timing to throw this flash is at 1:49, which leads to the earliest a T can be at the doors. The Molotov and flash gives you a good initial defense, but T's with the best spawn can run straight to blue bin before the Molotov lands. So another option for the Molotov is to throw it behind the blue bin, which stops T's from sitting there. And as for a potential T at the entrance, you can use this smoke at the start of the round. The smoke is thrown from elevator, flies over the buildings, then bounces off the top of long house and drops into the doors. This smoke limits T's from holding the long corner, which gives you an isolated fight on the T crossing to blue bin. But keep in mind, if you want to peek the doors with the best spawn, it won't land in time. The blue bin Molotov and long doors smoke takes away a lot of positions for the T's, but what if the T's are fully committed to taking long? There will be flashes or a corner smoke preventing you from holding the entrance. To ensure your Molotov still lands even while blind, you can use this lineup where you run sideways facing the wall and release as soon as you reach the corner. Facing the wall reduces how much you get blinded, and it also removes the need to step forward to throw the Molotov, which means you can cross the pit without any additional movement, and it lowers the chance the T catches you mid-throw. To fight the corner smoke, you can throw a counter flash to blind the T's pushing up. And this is a flash your teammate can throw for you. The goal of the flash is to have it pop on the left side of long and behind you so you don't need to turn. This flash will blind T's hugging the wall, as the 149 flash won't get them. With this flash, you can swing to the left side of the smoke or push through the smoke to catch T's directly behind it. So with these extra steps, let's say you fought off the initial push. What's a good spot to hold from? There's this position at the pit where you aren't directly holding the doors, but the side of the blue bin. The idea is to catch the T's at the moment they have to clear the right side. You can also use this lineup to re-smoke the doors without exposing yourself too much, giving you time to reposition. So that's what you can do if you have long control, but what do you do if you're forced to fall back? If you back up to the long crossing, you can use this smoke that lands at the middle of long to delay T's from pushing up. The smoke covers the entire choke point, which allows you to move freely between car and CT spawn. And as well, you can use the smoke to push up close to fight the T's. And that is the last piece of how to hold Dust 2 Long A like the pros.
Хоёрдугаар стэргийн тавтай морил Spirit versus Inner Circle бүгд Best of 3-2 дахь map Dust 2 map дээр 9 3 байртайгаар гарагтны хэсэг өндөрлүүлсэн. За одоо 2 дугаар хэсэг эхлэхэд бэлэн боллоо. 2 дугаар хэсэг City талаас Spirit багийн хамгаалтанд, тэр талаас Inner Circle багийн давталгаанд. За Midi Smoke өгсөн ч үгүй юм байна. Үе нэрээ бүр профайлтайгаа солилцоод ирсэн юм шүү дээ. За донк шууд ил гарцсан байлт нэг нэ. Нэг унгаа за дэвигийн трейд амжилттай. Шорт смоклаад флаштад ерөөхдөө шорт оруулаагүй лонгор нэг ороод ирсэн. Лонгор орж ирээ Magic нэг гачиж байгаа. За кар нэг байгааг мэдээг байгаад байгаа. Ажуулаас нь тархицсан боловч хоёр дахь тархитаж чадаагүй Zontex. 3 зэрэг нэг ширээ ганцаараа алдсан. Болохгүй мó гинэ. Гоё ялчиж. Тэгэл өөрчилчөөд мэдэхгүй байж магадгүй гэдэг. Танилцаж болох уу гэж хиччихдэг наац тий. Яа, би бүр амар копирайт аваад бүр баларч гинөө. Амар копирайт аваад. Одоо дахиад копирайт авах юм бол лайв хийх хэрэггүй болох гээд байна. Copyright одоо өмнөхөр айдас хүйц соллоо. Айдас хүйцийн ирэлтгээд байгаа шүү дээ ерөөсөө. Өөртөө баалралт явах гээд байна guys. Яавал копирайт авдаг юм гинэ. YouTube рекламны тухай хуулийг зөрчил авдаг юм аа. YouTube нэг рекламны тухай хууль гэдэг нэг амар хууль гаргацсан. Тэгээд тэр нь болохоор AI-аар шүүгдэж байгаа. Нөгөө камерын AI шиг. Йоо, тэний тулаад хоёрыг гачиж байгаа шортлэр. Тэгээ 3 дахь боломжтой болчихж байна. Йоо, за нөгөө хоёр намдраад гараад явчихж байгаа ч гэсэн Magic тэр оронд нь Zero Fix-ийг шүүрээд аваа явчихж байгаа. Шортоос нь. Одоо манай замын камерад AI-аар торгож байгаа шиг намайг яг YouTube-ийн AI ингээд торгочоод байна л да. Асаа юу устгах яаш бахарж явцгүй. Ямар үзэтэй ба. Тэгэхээр дахин нэг удаа сануулъя guys. Одоо стрим тасрах юм бол лайв өнөөдөртөө бол байхгүй болчихно гэсэн үг хүртэл. Дахин мэйл явуулаад хариу хүртэл. Араас нь шууд лайв эхэлдэг байсан бол байхгүй болчихно гэсэн үг шүү guys. Та нар хайчваа гэдэг шүү. Хайччваа гэдэг ба. За шууд 100 лайктай болсон байна, баярлалаа guys. Тэгээ лайв зогсвол өдөржингөө лайв хийхгүй юм. Лайв зогсвол өнөөдөртөө лайв хийхгүй юм гинэ. Тэгж ойлгож байлаа шүү guys. Өмнө нь бол болчоод идэгээс одоо болохгүй болчих. Яй, за тэнийр шалгасан унгаасан. За Дэвид рэдлээд аваа явж байгаа ямар тааж. Донк шууд. Үрэлтээ аваа зогссон. Хажуунаас гараад ирж байгаа. Нэг хүн гараад хоёр дахь рэд авч ирсэн Zero Fix. Араас нь Zontix унгаагаад дөрөв рэдэнд орчиж байгаа. За сүүлийн цагаар чи мэдээлэл гоочроо шууд бэр орчиж байгаа бомбтойгоо. Ханс байгаа юу нэ? Хансын тэмцээнд байхгүй. Цонхон дээрээ гараад сууд. Цонхныхоо баруун дараа суудсан. Харагдчихж байгаа. За, тоглолт 11-4 ярьцаатай болж байгаа байна. Нэг дөрөв. Даалха форс байранд гараад ирсэн Мактентэй 3 галилтай 1 дигл гарч ирсэн байна. Заспритийн раундыг авах юм бол матч point-ыг өөрсдөө болгох юм байна. Short flash-таад short эзэлгээ олуулаа. Long сайт нэг түүний мэдээллийг авчиж байгаа. За Zero Fix октинер гэнэ гараад авах юм. Зүрл хажуунаас широ. Сайт амьдраад байгаа гэсэн гараад ирсэн чинь шууд хэрэгтүүлсэн. За дөрөв эсрэг ойрлсон. Смокос гараад ирж байгаа донг баригдсан. Зонтекс нэг эсрэг 4 ганцаараа дэви өнө гачиж байгаа байна. 11 боллоо тоглолт. Загдар лайк дараарай, subscribe дараарай guys. Хэдүүлгийнх нөгөө амар олон лайк ч байхгүй болчлоо. Та балаа юм а тий. Хэдүүлгийнх нь үзлээжсэн нөгөө нь олон лайк бүр байхгүй болоод тахлаа. Цоглуулж исэн лайкнууд маань. Тэг өдөрт яалтчгүй тэгэл яалтчгүй л лайв бүр стил ямар ч нөхцөлд хоёр тасарчаад байна ерөөс. Хоёр тасарчаад байна. За дахиад донг 2x смокноос сайтс. За донг 3 таун гаж байгаа. Дэвигийн байрлалыг бас мэдсэн. Дэвийн чи яаж бодчихваа сая. За 0 Lyrics чинь Shiro-г нэгээд авч байгаа. Дахиад дон Magic-ыг нэгээд орж ирж байна. За тэгсэн донг гарч ирээд дөрөвдгөө унгаж байгаа. За Donkey Ace-ээр дуусгах гэдэг нөгөө юу? Donkey Ace хийж match point авах гэдэг байна уу да? Copyright бол тийм ээ copyright мөн copyright мөн. За Donkey-с байна уу? Нөгөөх нь гараад ирлээ. За байрлалыг мэдчихэж байгаа Donk гарч ирээд Ace авчиж байгаа юм байна. За ер нь энэ эрсдлийг тооцоолоод ер нь ингэж бодлоо. Ер нь хэдүүлээ давхар Twitch дээр лайв хийдэг болёо. Тэг намайг үзэх сонирхолтой хүмүүс нь тэгэл үзэн мэд тэгэл YouTube дээр copyright аваад тэгэл тэр чигээр хайдаг хүмүүс зарим байж л байгаа. Тэр хүмүүс нь тэгээ тэр чигээр хайн үсттэй. Ямар ч Twitch руу хамт давхар лайв явдаг болно. Маргааш нөгөөдрөөс ч юм уу. Кик дээр хийж болохгүй. Кик дээр тэмцээний шууд дамжуулалт гаргаж болохгүй цаанаасаа. Кик ч өөрөө нэг бет сайтны платформ багхгүй. Кик нэг өөр бет сайтны платформ учраас мэйл беттэй зөрчилдөнө гэсэн үг. Тэгэхээр яалтчгүй кик бол болохгүй. Twitch болно. Тэгэхээр ер нь бол Twitch channel-ийн одоос нээж мэйгээд одоо тэрийг идэвхжүүлээ дөө. Монгол зоохгүй. Twitch ядын. Twitch болохоор ямар нэгэн байдлаар бит сайтны платформ бич учраас ямар ч лайв хийж бол. За Donkey үргэлж орж ирж байгаа. Ардаасаа бодуулсан Donk 3 дахь онгаж байна. За 0 fix нэг эсрэг 5 ганцаараа үлдсэн. За дуусгаж байгаа юм байна да. Donk дахиад онгачиж байгаа. Тоглолт 5 ярьцаатаагаар Spirit багийнхан Inner Circle багийг 2-0 ярьцаатаа болгож аваад Blast Bounty Season-ыг final тэмцээнд оролцох хэрэг авлаа. За Inner Circle багийн хувьд бол Blast Bounty Season 1 тэмцээн нь бол энэ дөрөв өндөрлөж байна. За үргэлжлүүлээд бид өхөн Vitality versus Eyeballers багийн тоглолтыг үзэн. Eyeballers багт бид бүхний сайн мэдих JW байгаа. JW versus за юу гэсэн тоглолт үзэх нь байна. За дээрэс нь мапны сонголтууд нас гарч ирсэн байгаа юм байна. Би Night button дээрээ мапныхын сонголтуудыг оруулж атаахан guys. Map сонголтууд оруулах юм. Яаруулчлаа. За эхний map Eyeballers Anubis пиклсэн. Хоёр дахь map Overpass map-ыг Vitality багийн пиклээд. Гурав дахь map Decider map-аар Mirage map гарч ирж байгаа юм байна. Yeah, guys. Ballers. Wow, нөгөө наашлаад байсан тоглолт маань наашлахгүй гинэ. 11 цаг 30 минутаас эхэлнэ гинэ. Цагийн дараа гэж. Oh my god, guys. Дараагийн тоглолт 11:30-аас цагийн дараа. Йоо, амир. За хэдүүлээ нэг цаг авах гэлэх нэ. За тэгээ нэг цагийн дараа Vitality versus Eyeballers. Багуудын тоглолтоор яригд болцъя да. За тэр оронд бол би бас нэг YouTube гинэ. Тэр Twitch channel мэнэлээ нээж мэг тал дээр нэг бодъё та. 1 цаг 30 минут нэ. Үгүй 1 цагийн дараа 11:30-аас эхэлнэ шүү заяа guys. Хичээл TV дээр 12 цаг гэж харагдаж байгаа ч гэсэн 11:30-аас эхэлнэ. За 11:30-аас хэрэгэд болцъя guys. Лайк дараарай, subscribe дараарай guys. Юу ямар олон guys гэж вэ? Миний энэ guys гэдэг үгнээс баг олон хүн тэрж байгаа хөө. Би бас бодоолаа. Та нар тэрдэг бах те. Дөнгөрсөн л тоо одоо тэгээд. Сурсан юм баг сураараа ууж болохгүй да. Ягаад 11:30 гинэ хитрхийн найшилж болохгүй юм байна л та бүх тоглолтод. Эхний 2 тоглолт 2-0-оор хоёулаа дуусчихлаэр нэг тоглолт наашилсан, нөгөө тоглолт наашлаад 30 минутаар л наашилж байгаа юм байна. За загийн дараа болцсон guys. Өөр арга байхгүй. Bye. Bye гэчээ. Түр bye.
Of how we played, only not Dust versus Spirit, but overall, like, we beat 3D Max, we played good Ancient, so for the start of the season and versus these teams, like, we are feeling pretty confident in this season now, so it's good start for season for us anyway.
Yeah, and it's just the beginning of the season, so if anyone wants to watch out for you guys, where can we see you play next, and what is the goals coming up for you guys now?
I mean, to be honest, I don't know the names, like, we just have some online tournaments, a lot of online tournaments, so our goal is just to go up in VRS, so not more, like, we want major for sure, and like that's all.
You're in for the big grind, yeah?
Yeah, big grind.
I'm curious to hear about your new additions. We talked about it at the beginning of the event, about what you were expecting from Zero Fix, what you're expecting from Captain Kurka. Now having a few officials under your belt with them, what are your thoughts on the two players?
I mean, they're really amazing. Like they're always focused. It's hard to break them mentally, so it's good. and they really fit us so nice. Like a lot of people was thinking like if Karne leave and that's GG for Inner Circle, but to be honest, like I feel we can even be better with this roster because like we have now more team play. We just need time to do our structure better, and like I'm pretty confident in this roster. Like I'm pretty sure we will go up in VRS.
Well, I'm glad to hear that positivity. Glad to hear it's not GG. We certainly are liking what we're seeing here. Thank you for joining us. Commiserations on
Thank
the
you.
loss. We'll see you down the road.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, man.
Thank you so much. Bye.
That's a tough one for the birthday. Blowing out the candles, getting your candle blown out by Donk.
I mean, yeah, I guess, you know, sometimes it is what it is. I think, as he said, overall, should be proud. I think they played a good tournament. I think they exceeded expectations, and they gathered a few VS points, beating 3D Max. That's gonna be a great amount of points going towards their name. And as said, it's just gonna be a grind. They want major, well, gotta earn it, and that's one way to do it.
And they're so young as well, right? There's a lot of spirit on this team. That's ironic considering who they just played. But it does feel that way. There's a lot of momentum. There's a lot that they can build into. And I think bringing someone like Kurtka in the fold, who's been competing for a while, helps build on that. Some of the lessons that they learned, some of the things that they can integrate. I do think the future is very bright for Inner Circle, but I think he's also right to set the expectations of we're still in the point where it's just, can we claw our way up VRS? We're not in the conversation about what we're doing at tournaments. It's more about whether we can get to tournaments.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's super interesting right now. I think VIS, obviously, that's a conversation for another time, Mike, but it's done a lot of good stuff for the tier 2, tier 3 scene. There's always something to go for. There's always importance on every single game, getting all the points, getting all the prize money, you name it. And I think the competitive spirit right now, you know, if you take the teams from, let's say, top 15 to top 40, I think it's a hyper competitive environment they're in right now. So to be one of those teams that's going to stand out and maybe clinch a spot at the major, that's not easy. There's so many teams out there grinding. There's so many teams with the goal to climb the VIS. So Inner Circle, they're going to have a big grind ahead of them, but they are one of the few teams I think have a realistic shot at least getting close to qualifying for the major.
And there's big hurdles in their way to that. One of the hurdles that we just witnessed was Spirit, and to hear from them, we got Magix on the line. Magix, congratulations on the win. Looking forward to seeing you here in Malta.
Cool.
Cool indeed. Look, you had to watch the last time they were here at the Bounty, lift the trophy. Now you're in the server, now you're in the control. Now having a few officials under your belt in the leadership as well. Any lessons you're taking away? I know it's just 2 games, but anything you've already learned about this team and about you in the leadership?
I have no idea. I mean, like, the only not that great of a thing is that we're not getting a lot of officials if you're playing like Bounty. You know, like if you're winning, playing like straight to win the tournament, it's only 5 matches, and I feel like there's a few more officials needed for the warm up and like to get everything kind of stacked and ready and whatever. And before that, unless like even you have not that many officials, the game might be shaky at the times.
That's a good point. Good thing for you guys. You have a long year ahead of you, obviously, and a lot of games to be played. Magix, for you now being an in-game leader, I know one thing is thinking about it, you know, one thing is transitioning into it. Now you had a couple of official games under your skin. How is it in-game leading Team Spirit? Is it enjoyable? Is it motivating? Is it fun for you?
It's definitely exciting.
Yeah.
Speaking about some of your pieces that you're moving around the board, I want to ask about Tanir. We spoke to him in the pregame interview. He mentioned he's had some conversations with you about potentially things going on with his role, maybe getting some more freedom, maybe moving around the map a little bit more. Can you share anything with us about what you think of Tanir, what you think about how you can use him?
Well, I do genuinely believe that if you have an asset like such as this player, you have to give him some space for him to play the game, so he would be enjoying it. And like we all basically understand what is he capable of, and if he's getting that space and you know his ideas implemented, he can shine. Yeah.
Magix, you and your team has never lost a bounty format before. You're the back-to-back champions. Is it fair for us to expect you guys also to make it deep here in the playoff, or do you think it's still too early to have those expectations?
We'll find out soon.
Yeah, soon enough. What about
Yep.
you? What do you think you're ready to win?
I'm not thinking.
Not thinking. That's what I brought you back
don't
for,
believe
I
that.
thought. I thought it was all for the thinking now. Any final thoughts on Inner Circle and what they brought against you?
Well, I do think that their map pool is not that great, but speaking of Ancient, they basically this is the map they're most comfortable on, and if you're not like if you're playing against them and you're not really prepared or you know what to expect, it might be difficult, but they still have a lot of job to do, bringing in 2 new players, and there is a long road for them to get the map pool ready, get everyone used to each other, and just to play better. Because with the previous roster, a lot of us have probably seen last time they played Team Spirit without me, and they had their moments to shine.
They did indeed. But now, Secret Weapon back in, Magic's back in the server, not so much shining for them. Thank you for joining us for this interview. Looking forward to seeing you next week here in Malta, and excited to see those few more officials before we can get the true idea of what kind of mad ideas you can unleash here.
Thanks.
A man of few words when he doesn't want to talk, and a lot of information when he does. Always interesting an interview with Magic.
He's always interesting. Yeah, as said, he doesn't think. I don't believe that. I think he's underplaying his role a little bit. I think he is, and I said that as well. I think it's a very intriguing project they got going in Team Spirit. I think he has the capabilities of involving and transitioning into becoming a great in-game leader. Of course, for Magix as well. That's going to take time. It's not going to be a flawless transition. There's going to be mistakes happening. There's going to be learning curves. And as he said, I think it's a very valid point that the more officials you play, the more you learn about yourself, the more you learn about your players, how they act under pressure, how they respond to your calls, how much trust they have in you. And the only way to find out is by going through the motions. And for them, the more games they get to play, the better. And playing on a stage, and playing against better opposition, that's going to be the real big test for Magix and this new iteration of Spirit. But I think it's fair to say that we can have high hopes for them. There's no reason not to.
Yeah, I think it's also very fair from Magix to be tamping down expectations right now, because he knows they haven't had a real test yet. He knows they've just been rolling through teams that they absolutely should be beating, and that it's going to be a different story once he hits the LAN. I mean, I think you saw it in Donk's player cam in that whole second half. He looked like he was just, checking out forms and filing his plane ticket for this one, because it was very calm and collected from Spirit.
Very calm and collected. Like, let's be honest, right? If you scope out, yes, in isolation at this tournament, of course, Spirit are coming in and they're trying to win it. But I think it's fair to say that give them a couple of months before we see the full potential of Team Spirit. Maybe they hit the ground running. Maybe they come in and win off their first tournament and have a bit of a honeymoon period. But in terms of looking at the broader perspective right here, I think it's fair that we give them 2 or 3 months to fully integrate whatever it is that Magix wants to do with this lineup, to fully get Sontics up to speed and see what this new version of Team Spirit is going to look like. And I guess the big goal for them obviously would be the Cologne Major. And up until that point, it's all just, are we looking at a team that is getting gradually better? Are we looking at a team that is having too many difficulties? The only way we find out, Mike, is by waiting and following the progress.
Look, maybe we don't know what the final stew is going to taste like, but we're seeing the ingredients, and the ingredients are looking good, right? We saw Shiro today having some monstrous rounds. We've seen Tanir freed up a little bit, maybe starting to make his impact in the server felt a bit more. Donk is still Donk. He's clearly Donk. Those final few rounds are just a nice little signature on the series. Maybe Zontix is taking a little bit more time, but let's be real. The way this team is set up, Zontix is never going to be the one who's trying to step forward.
No, and I also feel when it comes to Zontix that he's a player that plays up to the level of the opposition, right? When he's playing good teams, he's often standing out as making great decisions and actually keeping his level. Today, bottom of the scoreboard, it doesn't matter. Like, he wasn't needed. He was doing exactly what he was supposed to. So if people want to point fingers and be like, Zontix is not ready yet, wait and see until he plays against the better team, because I feel that's where he gets to show the best version of himself as well.
Well, we will have to wait and see that. But let's take a look at our teams that have already booked their tickets into Malta. There's 2 more to confirm, but we are getting ready to get the action going here at the Blast Bounty. Just 2 more teams remaining. Exciting so far. A really stacked lineup we've got, with a few surprises sprinkled in. Falcons, Liquid, Perivision, Spirit, and Gamer Legion and Heroic as well. There's some upstarts this time. It hasn't just been the clean slate that we saw last bounty. Things are getting weird
Yeah, let's just play with the idea here, Mike, that the two TBDs is going to be Vitality and Furia, which I personally think
bet.
it will be. You know, then you have a very stacked playoff, right? You have some of the best teams in the world taking on each other, and you have a couple of underdogs, you have a couple of teams with stand-ins. And I say a couple of teams with stand-ins. We know Heroic are going to show up with a stand-in. Unfortunately, no AWP player. It's going to be tough for them. Unfortunately, I've also been following social media. It's been scrolling around, Mike, and apparently it seems that Yusuke will not show up with Falcons due to visa issues. So they're going to play with a stand-in as well. To me, that's a bummer because I wanted to see Falcons in full force take on Spirit, take on Furia, take on Vitality if they make it. Unfortunately, we'll have to wait and see, most likely for Krakow, before we see the full iteration of Falcons.
We'll have to wait to see the draft show, but who knows? Maybe we'll get the Heroic v Falcons stand-in battle. That would be a fun little narrative to have going. We've got our schedule for today. Stick around.
Mike,
there's a lot
you're
more
the
action
one
coming.
asking the questions all the time, so I'm going to take your job just for a brief moment right here. Vitality Eyeballers, give me your hot take. Give me your hot take here.
Well, I have a cold take for it, which is that Eyeballers are going to get destroyed. They're going to be de-eyed and bald.
All right, boring. How about Vitality versus, Furia versus Foot?
That one I think could get interesting.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see the Furia battle bounce back, right, from a disappointing major. I think there's a chance that they come out into this season just a little flat, or it's sort of a how do you respond situation. Do you come out flat, or do you come out pissed off and ready to rip heads? Foot's a team that can punish.
3 maps or 2 maps?
Let's go 3 maps. Let's end the day with a bang. Maybe a few overtimes, like 5, 6 of them spread across them. Really give the night shift something to work for.
All right, Mike, go back to your role as a host, please.
All right, locking in as a host here. Analyst Darth Mike checking out of duty. I do want to give a little bit of spice for this Eyeballers Vitality matchup, right? Because even though every part of my logical brain says that this should be remarkably one-sided, Eyeballers has some flair. They got some spice, and they've got this guy, JW, who knows what it means to be a champion, who knows what it means to win, who knows what it means as well to play the spoil sport, who knows how to get weird with it. He wanted this team. He wanted this match. He wanted this smoke. And we can hear from him and his words in the draft show.
Give it to me. Who are Eyeballers picking?
Yeah, I mean, I was back with a bang before, so let's do it again. We go for Vitality. Apex.
Oh my goodness.
Apex versus JW.
What?
Oh, JW.
That's crazy.
You're running back on
back
some legendary run, man. This is epic. This is exactly what we want. Dude, we might have to start calling you the Kingslayer.
Yeah, we'll see. Wait until after the game, and then we'll see. We'll see.
Do you want to show Zywoo what it's like to be the first major MVP versus the most recent? Is it going to be the old versus the new here?
I mean, not really. I think it's more about the battle of the trash talk between me and Apex, and then we'll see.
Yes. Oh my god, I wish this one was at LAN.
I wish it was at LAN too. Wow. I love JW's spirit. I love his energy, you know, rolling back the years, making it happen.
Yeah.
OG major MVP, showing him how to do it on the server, making some noise.
I mean, they made noise. They made noise by beating FaZe Clan, and they did it in a fashion where Eyeballers were not only beating FaZe Clan, but they dominated in map number 2 and map number 3. Unfortunately, there's also a real world today where Vitality will come in and they will smack JW and they will smack Eyeballers out of the server. And if that's going to happen, I wouldn't be surprised, to be completely honest, which is kind of nice for me to say, because I feel like there's only one way this game is going to go. Either it's going to be Vitality beating them, you know, quite handily, or it's Eyeballers going to make a game out of that, and that in itself would be a bit surprising. I hope that's the case. I hope JW and Eyeballers will show glimpses of what we saw against FaZe Clan as well, and maybe glimpses of what we can expect when they play teams like Inner Circle, when they play teams like Foot, teams they have to compete against in order to make the major. But having any sort of expectations of them beating Vitality or taking a map off Vitality, that's ridiculous. So it's an open-ended game where they can only surprise, and I kind of like that.
You still would have said it was ridiculous before they did it to FaZe, though.
No.
Playing devil's advocate here.
Oh, no. I even said they could win a map against FaZe.
A map? A map is not a series.
No, I'm saying they can't win a map against Vitality, so there's a difference.
Okay. All right. We're setting different standards here, but perhaps we might have some surprises yet in store. I know I'm going to be glued to my television set because it's time for us to take our leave to head on off. James Banks and Maui will be bringing you through the action. When we come back, Eyeballers Vitality for what would be the greatest upset to start this year, to send a team through from Malta. It would be absolutely wild, folks. You're not going to want to miss this one.
I mean, the unforgettable names in all through Counter-Strike. I mean, there's so many in every single generation. I think usually it's someone who's able to kind of break the rules of that particular era, someone who kind of unlocks this vision of the way they want to play the game that other people can see and build upon. One of the first I'd name is Snacks. Defined how smokes could be used, the way he played around them, the way he walked through them, the way he hid in them. That wasn't being done at the time. That particular moment is a time of greatness for Snacks. Someone like JW and Kenny S with how aggressive they were with the AWP. Trophies, winning events, going on streaks. The NIP guys, because of the streak that they went on. The Fnatic guys who established an era. There's always greatness there. I think for Pasha, I think what made him was his personality. Having someone being that outspoken and that strong and provide emotions and provide his thoughts and be entertaining in a way that the audience can connect with and fans can connect with and we as commentators can connect with. He was always able to get kills, and despite that, you'd see these moments where you were like, how is this guy a pro? Like the way he walked around corners, the way he stepped into a 1v1. In fact, pros at the time even had a name for it called the Pasha peak, which was like the slowest, most awkward peak ever. That was kind of the greatness defining mood around the team at that point. Olaf back in like 2015, he was such a force to be reckoned with. He was one of the players that Fnatic could just send out and say, find us a kill. And he could go duel 2 or 3 players at a time. He really did become that player where once upon a time he was the jack of all trades, and he was just so good at all those trades. 2016 was the era where Brazilian Counter-Strike really hit it. Fallen's greatness obviously comes from his movement and his ability to understand his positioning, take a shot, fall back, find new cover, and he was like a master of this kind of like retreating off defense that would just pick a player off. So you add all that together with his leadership and kind of the style of Counter-Strike that he developed with the Brazilians, and Fallen's just in some ways a complete package of greatness. Device was someone who kind of mastered the textbook of Counter-Strike and always played within its limits to its maximum potential. ZywOo is someone who just has incredible consistency, sharp with the AWP as well as the AK-47, extremely versatile, and he's a star player that doesn't demand a lot. Simple's greatness came from the fact that he just beat the game. He's the best player to ever touch it. His motivation at some point was, I want to put on a show. I want the crowd on their feet as I decimate you inside the server.
Simple, are you serious? What is that? You can't do that, Simple!
And that level of greatness is really hard to achieve and might not ever be achieved again. For me, I think the GOAT conversation is a fun one. Device is the greatest CSGO player of all time. 4 majors, 21 MVPs, 20 MVPs. He was the center point for the greatest team of all time of that Astralis lineup. And then we get to ZywOo, and he's going to take the mantle of the greatest player of all time. It's just a matter of time before everyone kind of gets on board and accepts that. Someone like m0NESY, someone like Donk should be next in line to have some kind of a GOAT status conversation. You need the major trophies. You have to have them. Donk's already got one in his first rookie year. If he's doing this in year 1, where is he going to develop into? But it's competition and it's Counter-Strike, and things can change in a heartbeat.
It looks like Rob's going to be tested in this pistol round, but he's got dual Berettas over towards the ramp. A confident start from ZywOo, who's already taken space away out in the yard. It's Rops, though, on the chopping block. Dual Berettas fire off, and it's all Rops all day!
Every single individual of this G2 squad refuses to falter at the hands of Vitality. Finally, something comes through in round 11. ZywOo's double kill out through the tip of that windowsill. It's better late than never for ZywOo to step forward as the hero Vitality need, and they needed one 5 rounds ago. Apex gets burned into it, and ZywOo, it's all or nothing. Here or never. And as he eats that flash, they'll come barreling towards his sight. Back's turned, and that is 4 frags deep for ZywOo. Oh, it's the ace! It's all 5, and the hero steps forth.
And Apex has been all over the Mag 7 today. Inferno Banana. That's actually one of the stronger places.
Yeah.
Not if you get HE'd. Ooh. His is a bit deep. Jump shot. Go on, do it.
Surely they know. They must have seen Vitality do this. They must have seen Apex do it.
They're holding nades.
Yeah.
Do it. Do it. Yeah, okay. On the stomp. He's not going to jump. He's waiting for commit. He finds a double. Mag 7 back as he finds 4 off the jump. Apex. That's one way for the RNG to fall in your favor.
Killing the clock.
They're killing the clock. 35 seconds now. Na'Vi have to make a choice.
Flamesy in the same corner he's played in the past. Wonderful right here in hut. Meanwhile, 8th floor falls. Na'Vi get the entry. Mezzy, back sight. The anchor of anchors. Vitality's king. He sits here, his bit responds, the headshot, Hunter only gets the 2, and so now it is on Ime, and with 15 seconds, he's got to somehow grab that bomb. We've got low health on Mezzi, and they end it right here.
MaaRaa are so frightened of Banana. I mean, retake utils being set up, but MaaRaa aren't even close. They only now re-enter ahead of that smoke. Now it's well timed. Molly will stop MaaRaa's approach. Over it goes, Flames again forcing these kills, and this time he flicks up with ease.
And no matter how you sliced it in this matchup, there's multiple scores to settle. Vitality, since getting back from the player break in this season, haven't seen them made a final yet. Last time they were here, Mezzi falling short of the finals in London. And MaaRaa's the team that started it all, the beginning of the fall apart for Vitality. Well, they're back now into the grand final. Vitality get it done in 2.
In the process, Apex gets the better of his teammate. Now, he's got the utility to keep Donk out of this.
He knows he's gonna swing.
Okay! He knows. Apex, baby!
Oh, it's Apex!
Charge your mouse, charge your mouse!
Look, it's plugged in. Yeah, it's plugged in. There we go.
Char, even though you win, we love you. Merci, madame.
I'm gonna make sure that I always put 100% effort into it.
Don't know if that's coming through.
Then you lose this timing that you get with the element of surprise. It's like worth it to almost lose a player
He
there.
wants you, baby! He wants you! You wish you would be here! Give me! Even in the fucking train on pop, you shot me!
Flamesy's got players breathing down his neck, and there's a ton of pressure coming in on Mezzi. He lines up the bodies, though.
So solid.
Locks this down. Another multi-frag moment, but here's Donk's rebuttal. Okay, over towards outer, damage onto the op. And now ZywOo slides away.
No fast moves.
Donk gets into the back of the site. This is a 1v5.
He can sense the fear. Rotation around for ZywOo.
Donk comes back. ZywOo, remember, full health. Over onto the AK. They're feeding Apex to him. And now this huge health advantage. Time's ticking. Donk's out wide. Okay. Clashes and kills them off. Always reliable Russian rifling. But your answer comes in the way of a Molodoi A-site entry. Spam down through the smoke as Modesty continues to counter, and Kickstand walks this over. But here comes the clutch. Quesarado so low already. No need to finish this off. It's gonna have to be a guillotine from Quesarado, not once, but twice.
Off default, and he's moving up.
Modesty's been playing phenomenally in this 4th map to keep the Falcons' dream alive.
How can he get 2 from this position?
I don't know.
He's trying to think different. He might catch 1. If he gets both, it'd be a miracle.
He will stay tucked in and hidden and hope. And as they encroach closer, he remains in the shadows. This is Falcons getting closer to that bomb now. The retake's in full effect. Modesty stomping over. It's a headshot immediately. No! An act of God from KS Serato. At times when we've seen Vitality kind of come in after that first volley, this is a different timing from them, and they're going to try to send one through the car. Oh, that beautiful flash out of Mezzi.
Oh!
Good recovery for Modesty, not letting that go for free. We've got that smoke still for Monacy, and he gets the answer back.
All right, now we're talking.
It comes down to 20 seconds. It is right there. Rob's not sure from which avenue. Tesses going in first, dies out to Mezzi. Monacy's got himself a 3rd, and the quad on for an ace. And time to plant, and Sanctuary on the other side as Apex will walk this approach.
He's got to take a breath. Monacy low HP, 14 health, looking for this last kill.
Locked in, holding the angle, Apex's head, primed for the popping. In a full house for 4 rounds. Monacy uses that moment to establish an angle on Hut, but misses. And there's a lot of movement for Furia outer. They write off this threat. Kickstand can't get his. This is Yakindar just trying to charge it down. Multiple bodies still, but he doesn't give a damn.
He's not done yet.
Oh, he's just tearing right through everyone.
He's a bulldozer.
Nico, last man standing here inside of the site. It's a quad kill for Yakindar. He will stare them in the face and step up to the plate.
Okay, a triple out of Molodoi prowling the street.
He's not warming up. He's hunting.
It's just a fluke. You can't drop 30 like that every match.
What possessed God in heaven to make a player like Molodoi?
God did not make Molodoi. I made him.
You trained him, right?
I teach this kid everything. Discipline, positioning, grenade lineups. He's ignoring it all.
You wanted to see me?
Come sit, Daniel.
I've seen your flashbangs. Did Fallen teach you nothing?
Utilities for people that miss.
That's not game sense, bro. That's madness.
Madness? No, confidence.
He's not blinking. I don't think he's blinked since he walked in.
Look, Daniel, the teams out there, they know you're dangerous. They're planning around you. They don't want to end up in another highlight reel from you.
If they don't want it to be in highlight reel, they're gonna need one thing.
And what's that?
Disconnect.
He's so intense.
You think you can keep this up every single match?
They can't stop me.
You remind me of me. Just younger, TikTok generation. A little bit less patient, but still very good. You can't coach that. You can only survive it.
Stop trying to coach me. Start following my calls.
Ha, be careful. Last time I said it, they made me an IGL.
Is this how roster changes happen?
Majors are not banana cups. If you ask a player would they rather win Cologne or a major, no one will ever say Cologne unless Cologne is a major, and that's because of the prestige. If the play is going to be iconic, you got to start in playoffs. The crowd on the crowd mics, the call has to be so good from the casters just to complement that play perfectly. Just the right amount of surprise and awe, and the reaction, just the raw reaction of the room. So I think it's just about the audience. For me, my favorite major final was the Astralis versus Virtus Pro. And this was right when Astralis had picked up Glaive. This was very interesting because Kerrigan was a much more revered IGL. But the one thing Glaive brought to that major and to Astralis was he solved their choking issue. He made a series of calls on that T-side comeback on Train, and it was a bunch of very aggressive confidence plays at a moment where if they lost the next round, they probably would have just lost the entire series and lost the major. And that was the first of the 4 majors that they won. At a major where there's the most pressure, Glaive was the best option. And I think that was a really key point for both Astralis and honestly Denmark as a whole. When you look at FaZe at Boston, one of the most iconic images was Nico blown up on the Jumbotron. As hard as that might be for him to think about or go back and watch, that's one of the things you remember the most. Stewie being the guy who was the player that made Cloud9 into a winning team and made Cloud9 into a team that was top 6 that year. So the best sort of NA team that we'd seen in forever. And then for him to have the clutch moment to bring the team to overtime, it's not about the skill anymore, it's about who's good under pressure, and Stewie was that for Cloud9. I think that one will be forever iconic for me. I would never want to have to go through what FaZe went through at Boston. But in terms of how much emotion came out of that, it's sort of irreplaceable as a moment in history.
Linus springs his trap, but he's left as the last man standing.
That was brutal for FaZe. I can't believe they get out so cleanly. It didn't... Yeah. Someone call an ambulance.
Apex, they've been yelling at you the whole game, calling you names. What do you want to say to them?
That's all you can say. Fuck you, Apex.
this man.
Yep.
He's enjoying himself.
Oh my God, he's playing the guitar.
What does this man not do?
Man.
You think to yourself, what the?
Is it a bat? Is it a plane?
No, it's an eagle.
No.
It is actually a falcon.
Barreling down from Banana and getting this double kill out of the gate.
Yeah, it feels like this is where the rubber's meeting the road a little bit.
So tell me about the wolf rules again.
What do you want to know?
So commandeering is illegal, right?
It's legal, but in 100% legal, we cannot just rock up to the booth and start chugging on the branded can. They want you to wrap the can up so nobody can see what the brand it is.
And that's just in booths or stage 2?
Okay, so it breaks down like this. It's legal to drink it, it's legal to bring it with you, but you can't show it when you're out on the break. But it doesn't matter, because for them, it's illegal to stop you. And that's the right that referees and player managements don't have.
Okay, next time I'm bringing some with me.
But you know what's the funny thing competing around the world?
What?
It's just small differences. They got all the same shit over there that we got at home.
Example?
Okay, like look at the last 2 Blast majors. In NA you can join any fucking server and it will be filled with crazy people. And also the craziest comps I've ever seen. And in Paris, do you know how they call a fucking deagle?
They don't call it deagle?
They got different callouts, man. They don't know what the fuck a deagle is.
Then what do they call it?
They call it le coup.
Le coup? What is they call a force buy?
A force buy is still a force buy, but they call it le force.
Le force. What do they call full save?
I don't know, man. I didn't do any crowns.
This state has been the beating heart of Counter-Strike for 25 years.
From my sense, a rivalry is something that tests you to your limit and shows you your limits. It's something where there's a lot of emotion because of how hard it can be to overcome the rival. There's a beauty and poetry in it because the rival is holding up the mirror to your weaknesses and they're exposing them, and that's frustrating to deal with, but then you're forced to be honest with yourself and to try to work through it and to become better. And that is what both you and your rival want. And I think that's one of the most special things about competition. I think one of the things about the Fnatic Envy rivalry that was interesting is that French and Swedish Counter-Strike, I think, was really important to CS. With Envy, you had this kind of combination of like crazy firepower and personalities, about French energy. And then you also have on the other end of it, the stoic, calm, also villains of the time in the Fnatic roster, where they didn't show us the super deep level of strategy and tactics, but they showed a mastery of how to mid-round. As well, the AWP was obviously got nerfed thanks to JW and Kenny S, and so you also had in that rivalry the best AWPers, and the two AWPers that understood how to play aggressively with the AWP like nobody else. But I'm thinking back to the early days of CSGO with that kind of French-Swedish rivalry. I'm thinking about that stylistic difference and how both of those teams were showing the best of CSGO in different ways. I think Liquid was very important to shaping narratives in North America because Liquid was really the first serious team in North America that showed a culture-defining change. Liquid had moments of much greater success than others. Later on, you got this addition of the Twist lineup, where eventually they did beat Astralis. This, I think, elevated all of North America along with it. It was necessary for them to do that because Astralis were showing mastery of the game in so many different levels that to compete against them was so infinitely difficult for basically anyone and everyone. And so everyone was studying Astralis, and Astralis were essentially making a student of the entire scene. And I think Liquid was one of the responses to the cultural impacts of Astralis.
15 to the clock. It's another close call coming out of Furia in round 11. Op finds the pit kill. Somebody's got to clear Brolin out of this corner. And here comes Zershin sprinting in through the Moto smoke to send the curveball through. He can plant. Again.
He can plant.
Again. Just enough time. 1v3 queued up for Molodoy. Him versus Torzi. And he looks the wrong direction. Does he get wind of it?
Oh,
it's
he must
right
have
there
spotted.
for the peak, but Molodoy's still hiding, and Torzi doesn't know. He gives up the info, takes the no-scope to the chest, and it's another clutch for Molodoy, his second of this half alone.
Round number 18, Furia. 5 kills away from the big stage at the Moody Center. They just need to complete this round, and it starts well. Caserato has slaughtered Flammus as he tries to burst through the smoke here. Nice jump up, but Caserato's still out there. That M4 doing all the work. It's a massive quad kill. And he already had he almost had the ace earlier. This time he's going to try and see if he can really complete it. The USB out, and he gets it. An ace to get to the playoffs.
You said Fallen's been quiet on Inferno. Well, he can't afford to be quiet here in round 22. Do they do a contact? Is it really going to be just dry? It is into the orb. Cello activates if he's necessary. Now the nade does chip damage, but still that bomb is under their control. And Fallen steps up, delivers when his team need him most. A triple kill on the orb. Down goes Rek on A, and the job is done. The round is won, 11-11. I know what Fury are wishing for. Another one of them from Fallen. 4 kills in the round.
Furia stacked those rounds. m0NESY uses that moment to establish an angle on Hut, but first shot misses. And there's a lot of movement for Furia outer. They write off this threat. Kicksand can't get his. This is Yakindar just trying to charge it down. Multiple bodies still, but he doesn't give a damn.
He's not done yet.
Oh, he's just tearing right through everyone.
He's a bulldozer.
Nico, last man standing here inside of the site. It's a quad kill for Yakindar. He will stare them in the face and step up to the plate.
What a monster, Yakindar.
Take a look. Nothing that he can see, but if he continues on this journey, he could have caught them off guard. Molodoy, though, all the wiser. Magazine's
They
empty.
are trading him.
You get Matt.
No, they are trading him.
Sunpius found a kill as well towards A. Molodaw's able to get one.
3 on 5. Get the 4K. There's one.
Makes it all the harder. 4 shots. 4 health.
This is a crazy play. Senpai's looking for him to go up above.
No kit here for Sunpius either. He's wasting critical time on this, but he does manage to get out. Another missed shot here from Molodoy. The last shot closes pistol. It almost looked like G2 would take it, but the 5v3, Molodoy the sole survivor. Boomich remains posted, now no support.
And with the deep information, if they don't disrespect this, or if they come forward, well, it's actually come to the point now where his smoke can take over. He doesn't have to put himself in jeopardy. They're running through this. Oh my God, they're actually going to come, yeah.
Oh, no way!
Double no-scope collapse.
Easy pickup for Na'Vi. I mean, they laugh in the face of this attack. 5th player in's the only one that gets a kill. He'll double down m0NESY, but he's already down to a quarter HP.
But old habits die hard, it looks like.
That's 3.
Man.
But he only has 3 health left. That should be the end of him.
It was only 2 guys.
Yeah. He's going to use the smoke grenade to cut off Alexi.
Could they mess this up? 25 seconds, and m0NESY is seeing red.
He wants to make it happen.
Oh my God.
Oh, no, wait, dude. This is a 1 versus 5 straight up, and he has
can
time
read
to
it.
get bomb. He should have this red with another smoke. Oh, my m0NESY. 1 fake. The nade doesn't come through. Now, he's got enough space to commit to this. m0NESY, a pure 1v5. And as Emek tries to get out through that smoke, m0NESY's just dodging all these bullets.
He's terrified. Ema's looking behind him for a push through. Time's ticking away.
I mean, how could you not be horrified? m0NESY, the prodigy, has pieced together 4 frags in this 1v5 ace clutch. And Ema, his head is on a silver platter. A miracle from the magnificent m0NESY.
The Flames and Dagster. Getting this bomb down is scary. Flames is taking real estate, but ends up getting punished. Liquid hold, and they win these fights. Just Dagster left to get past, but he's an iron wall at the back of the site. Moving around, kill number 3. Oh! Dagster!
Make some noise for him. That is incredible. And you've got JL and Wonderful.
It's this fight, JL and Wonderful, or in Fame, excuse me.
Very key. Fame slips up, getting ever closer. JL thinking about going to help as Wonderful puts that op over to the corner. That could come back to haunt him. Tough spot to get the multi-frag. But the CT's sitting and waiting for a little longer. Molotov goes to Cave.
If Fame waits this long, this might come back to bite him.
He's got the kit, and that kit could be so key.
You gotta go, VP.
He needs to move. Bombs, oh, beyond! Oh, welcome to Wonderland! They lock down that post plant like it's nothing!
Welcome to The Bounty, a new, bold Counter-Strike format where every round raises the stakes. Here's how it works. The prize pool isn't just split at the end, it's distributed as bounties. Each team starts with a bounty based on their seed. Lower seeds begin with 0, but can still strike it big by hunting bounties from higher ranked teams. Win a match, and you secure 50% of your opponent's bounty as a guaranteed payout. The other 50%, it carries forward, growing the stakes for the next round. After each round, the lower seeded teams pick their opponents from the higher seeded pool. This happens during the live draft shows, taking place before the tournament first begins and after each round of play. Bounty hunters can choose from the most wanted teams, deciding if they want to choose their opponent based on strategy, past history, or simply going for the biggest prize available. This is Counter-Strike like never before. Are you ready to go bounty hunting?
Flamesy, I want to look a bit about you. Donk is a challenge, right? But he's the one that takes your award away for your position. So what can you do in this year to make sure that doesn't happen? Like, do you have some idea of some training plan or something you want to try put together?
Well, the idea is just to be the same, you know, to try to get better and find many ways to stay in shape and get good in form. But I think if you ask Donk last year if he could replace what I've won with what he's won, even though he's great and he's probably going to win it all as well, I think he will take that 2025. So it's just about being a good teammate, and the best entry I can for my team, and that's the most important. I don't compete with him. I just need to do the job that my team requires me to do, and that's all it is about. And if we win and it's successful, I think everybody understands that this is what matters in this game.
Bob XD, you put up a great individual performance versus FaZe. What does it feel like to do that against a team like FaZe and the players they have?
I mean, it's of course a great feeling to get the win, but also perform well. Obviously, it's the win that matters, but playing well on top of that is like just a bonus for me. I think it proves to me as well that I can play with the big guys, so to say. So it's good.
And do you feel more confident at the same time now, going into this next matchup?
I mean, of course it gives some confidence to play well against FaZe, but I think my confidence is always high. So I think, yeah, sure, I got some confidence, but I'm always confident.
That's great, man. That's really good. You need to have that as a Counter-Strike player. Now, I have to also ask, JW is making things hard for you guys. First FaZe, and now Vitality. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fun, it's good experience, and I think it's just what we need to like take the next step. I think we have been doing well in these tier 2 tournaments and on some lands. So I think it's just good for us to get this experience, even though it's online. I think we all get some good experience and hopefully get us ready for like the next step if we manage to get an invite to some tier 1 event.
Exactly, man. Make the most of every opportunity. Now, I do want to mention one thing. When you played FaZe in that opening map, it didn't look like the same eyeballers we would see previously. Is there something you guys have spoke about now going into this game against Vitality to make sure that doesn't happen again?
We haven't necessarily talked about like anything special about the first map. I think we concluded that I think we maybe weren't fully prepared, or like we didn't warm up as good as we maybe would have liked, and we didn't play with the same confidence that we usually do in eyeballers. And we come with a lot of ideas, and that didn't happen that game. So I think overall we just really weren't ready for the start of that game.
Okay, and in terms of being ready and what practice looks like, do you as eyeballers get a chance to practice against this level of team, you know, in the day-to-day games?
Yeah, I mean, frequently we get to play Vitality, Spirit FaZe, like all of these teams, so we definitely practice against them, and I think it just helps us for us to get ready against these teams in these matches, so it's good.
Okay, perfect. And anything special you want to see happen tonight against Vitality? Anything you've got planned in terms of practice, what Peter and JW have put together for you guys?
I mean, I just want every one of us in eyeballers to show a real face and play with a lot of confidence and take a lot of initiative. I think it's gonna be a hard game either way, but I think if we all play like we usually do, I think we have a chance.
People at home, you might be sleeping on this matchup, but you certainly shouldn't after what we saw eyeballers do to FaZe. You might say it's FaZe and this is Vitality, but I'm excited for this one. I've got MaaRaa with me on the desk. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. The weather's getting a little bit better over here. Thunderstorms are gone, and I feel like the players are really going to enjoy that it's just a little warmer than the rest of Europe.
Yeah, most people are coming from snow and minus temperatures. When you come to this, it's a nice change up. It's a beautiful moment. And right now, it's a beautiful moment for eyeballers because that win over FaZe did a huge boost for their confidence. They were telling us in that interview, BobXD said, they're actually practicing against these teams, but they don't get to play them in officials. And we know how different that is. And we need to talk about BobXD because he was the star of the show by a long margin. And that's impressive when you look at the players that were on the server alongside.
BobXD might be Nine's biggest fumble of last year to not keep this guy, because he's clearly elevated how eyeballers are in terms of just world ranking. I mean, it feels like they're just on this slow upward trajectory, and he's clearly stolen the show. Despite the fact that on CT side, he's playing a lot of the extremity positions, he can be very aggressive. It's actually very cool to see a guy finally just push himself in those sort of spots, because the way I would kind of relate it in the past is that both two players, for example, that played B on Mirage would be someone like MSL and someone like Shroud. But Shroud, you always wanted him to do a little bit more. You wanted him to be a little bit more aggressive because we knew he had the tools to do it. BobXD has the tools and he's aggressive. So he's combining both the playmaking ability and just imposing his strengths.
And getting to do like a bit of a longer interview with him, I got to see a bit of his personality as well. We were talking before the interview started. And, you know, he's not so reserved. He's got some opinions. He's got some confidence in there. And this confidence is going to be building when he's getting to play games and players like this. But this also matters for the whole of eyeballs, I think. Other than JW, that experience isn't really there. So for these guys, this is a big milestone to take in your whole career. Maxter, a guy we saw time and time again on NIP, he was kind of thrown in at the wolves to just be eaten alive, but now he's kind of refined himself. He's like a stone that's been sculpted slowly.
I was really disappointed with Maxter when he first made the promotion or got promoted to NIP from the Young Ninja Squad. I was kind of wondering, what was all the hype about with this guy? But on Eyeballers, it just looks like it's a team that fits him a lot more, where he's not always under pressure thinking about how do I mess up. I think he's taking or calling his own number a little bit more. He can be a little bit more individualistic. I don't think that I'm seeing him back up into bomb sites, just hoping to multi-frag as much. And so taking fights on their own terms is kind of a hallmark of what I would consider to be Eyeballers' strength, that they aren't just a team that is starting around and just hoping that things go their way. I'm just seeing a little bit more proactivity, even on parts of the map that I wouldn't always expect.
And then on that, right, they've got JW leading them. Yes, he's still wielding the AWP, one of the few IGL AWPers, you know. Actually, maybe it's making a resurgence because Cadian's back in the flow as well. But at the same time, it's something that doesn't get as much love and attention these days. But you know what? His experience alone is just helping them so much in this, right? Because this is a very young team who could quickly fumble under the pressure. The way they came back in that first map against FaZe, that's what impressed me. We went from seeing a team that didn't look like eyeballers if you watched any of their previous games, and then they really showed up and they were like, this is the real team. And look what they made FaZe do. You just saw Karrigan's face then.
In terms of in being just a heartwarming moment for me with JW is talking to him prior to this tournament, and the fact that he stuck with this Eyeballers project, even though it was over a year of them kind of just fighting it out in the top 60 teams in the world.
It wasn't pretty.
And I feel like at that time, there was a real case that you would have made to say, why is JW doing this to his legacy? I mean, he's a guy with multiple major victories, a major MVP, and then him saying himself that he feels like he needs to almost right the wrongs for the Swedish scene where he was probably partially responsible, where they just had this gatekeeping mentality where they just kind of kept recycling top Swedish pros over and over again. And it sort of led to a decline in what was once one of the most powerful teams in all of Counter-Strike.
It's kind of what Denmark's going through now, right? They're both learning their lessons kind of the hard way and having to deal with it. But JW said to us he wanted to be back with a bang. He already chose FaZe, but look at this, what he was doing on the draft pick that we had just a few days ago. Give it to me. Who are Eyeballers picking?
Yeah, I mean, I was back with a bang before, so let's do it again. We go for Vitality. Apex.
Oh my goodness.
Apex versus JW.
What?
Oh, JW,
that's crazy.
You're running back on some
years.
legendary run, man. This is epic. This is exactly what we want. Dude, we might have to start calling you the Kingslayer.
Yeah, we'll see. Wait until after the game, and then we'll see. We'll see.
Do you want to show ZywOo what it's like to be the first major MVP versus the most recent? Is it going to be the old versus the new here?
I mean, not really. I think it's more about the battle of the trash talk between me and Apex, and then we'll see.
Yes. Oh my God, I wish this one was at LAN.
And we do wish this was at LAN, right? You can see it. We know what Apex delivers, right? All that trash talking, all that fun, all that excitement. JW wants a piece of that himself, you know. He's well measured in how he spoke to us and how he responded to this. I think I was more excited for the pick than he was because, do you know what? Honestly, it just filled me with joy that he is going for these picks. He's not just like, oh, I could have chosen, like, I don't know, Paravision or a Pain or something like that.
Right.
He went for a big team again because he knows what it's done for his team already.
And the fact that they were able to already take down FaZe is one of the stories of the tournament for me. I think it's one of the biggest upsets from the first round. So to keep that mentality moving forward, at one point, I would probably say, come on, JW, just take it easier, team. Just get to the LAN with your boys. You know, make it a little bit easier for you guys. But I like it because at the same time, all of these games, they're just invaluable in terms of practice and what you're going to learn from them, because you're going to see the best teams in the world give absolutely everything that they need to in order to try to take you down. So in what was supposed to probably be a humbling experience for someone like Bob XD, ended up being one where his limit testing actually proved that it could work in a live environment.
And from that, right, we're now starting to start looking at Vitality a little bit, because Vitality, best team of the year, they've got all the accolades, they've got all this confidence going through them. But right now, right, for them, this isn't a focus, right? Maybe they're going to be not as clear and sharp when they come into this. Yeah, they want to be in the LAN finals. Yes, they are expected to be. But there is something, just some aura around this where I feel like their mindset is going to be elsewhere, future, throughout the rest of this year, more so than here.
I feel like in speaking to them around this tournament, it already feels like they didn't really make as concrete as an objective regarding the Blast Bounty event, because like you're saying, there are a couple of events in the season that maybe you just regard with a little bit more prestige, and also people would probably even give themselves a pass because it's the first event of the season. And to Vitality's credit, you kind of have to give them a pass. Thinking about the 2025 bounty where they lost out, then went on their 8-tournament win streak. There's a lot to love about this Vitality team, but you might not get every single piece of it activating at 100% in this tournament.
Looking at this, ZywOo, though, in the opening game, he did farm, he had a good job. It was against Virtus.pro, you know, like, should be a game where they're confident, they can just be running through it. I didn't see anything which made me worry at all there. It was good score lines. There was no real stress moments from there. And remember, they're not playing on a boot camp. They're all taking their time. They're going to have plenty more chances across the year to be playing in LAN environments, maybe here in the studio, stuff like that. So for now, I think they're just easing their way into it. in the correct way, but ZywOo showing up even online is a positive sign.
ZywOo absolutely farmed VP. There's no way to beat around the bush there. He smurfed on them. This was a complete masterclass from ZywOo, which is exactly what you want to see coming off of him being labeled by HLTV the #1 player of 2025. I don't feel like there even has almost that much to prove in this kind of environment, and yet he does overperform. He does show everybody that he is clearly a class above the teams that he's going to be facing in the online qualifier portion of this tournament. So he, along with people like Flamesy, people like Mezzy, definitely are trying to show that they're going to start the year on the right foot, that he's going to still keep making the strong reads against any level of opposition, and it would be a mistake to bet against ZywOo in a match like this.
We say this so often, though, right, about ZywOo, that he doesn't so much have the ego with it. I know he got the #1 player in the world spot, but do you think with all the comments and the controversy and the discussion around it, that maybe he's thinking, you know what, screw these guys. I'm not letting this happen. I'm going to next time win it, but I'm going to be there winning and you can't deny me it.
To be fair to ZywOo, I don't think he reads too much of the internet chatter, but I feel like the fact that there was even a semblance of a doubt when you win 2 majors, are the MVP, should light a new fire underneath him. And hopefully that's something that he can build towards so that there isn't even a conversation, because I feel like it was a fair conversation to pit him against Donk. I understand why HLTV would have ranked ZywOo higher with all of the accolades that he was able to grasp onto. But if ZywOo could just put up slightly better individual performance, if he left no room for doubt at Budapest that he was the MVP, because let's not forget that there was a bit of a question there. Is it going to be Rops? Is it going to be him? People were refreshing pretty frantically there to see, does the year end with Rops stealing one of his trophies?
And that would have been a big one if Robs could make it possible. But you do have to know that if you sit on a team like Vitality or Spirit, you probably are just taking second place, no matter if you are really good. When you've got these kind of players on your team, though, you have to kind of take that L with it. But before we go any further, we need to take a look at the maps. So it's time for the veto. Now, the main thing here is I don't expect any crazy surprises or anything wild coming out here, right? We know how this should be going. But I think for eyeballers, it's just about getting off to a good start in this, you know? Coming right with the right mentality, no matter what map it ends up being.
I'm a little bit, okay, wait a second. Eyeballers go for Anubis. Okay, yeah, wait a second. I was just thinking they were going to go for one of the maps that they played against FaZe and were able to win.
Yeah.
Bringing out Anubis here, well, that's going to be real tricky. Vitality go with the overpass pick. I kind of figured they might go with Nuke, actually, but it was one or the other. And so for Decider here, I feel like, eyeballers then decide to get rid of Nuke. Honestly, I'm still shocked by the Anubis. I didn't think that one was coming.
Dude, the reason I said I thought this is going to be a standard veto, because I'm thinking, like, if your eyeballers just play to your strength, you beat FaZe already, go off that and play in the confidence.
Well, they still get the Mirage, which they played well against FaZe, but I also, man, I mean, I didn't really prep for them to even go for Anubis. I just thought that they were going to go with one of those maps that they already beat FaZe. So I'm kind of shocked. I'm interested to see if anything too much has to change. We did see Vitality play Anubis at the beginning of last year with Rops. I think it was Rops that took over the A spot and Flamesy got to change his position around. So I think that actually that ended up looking a little bit better for some of the individuals on the team. And in general, I think Mezzy in last season, or in 2025, the last season Anubis was there, he looked way more confident on that B bomb site anchoring position when it was him next to Flamesy instead of next to Spinks.
The question for me, though, right, is that I'm sure, for example, eyeballers, what they told us, they came back to practice a little bit earlier than what Vitality did, but who's going to be more ready on it? Eyeballers definitely got to have a way to go with this, but I do think now that, like, they've put themselves into a bit of an unknown at the same time. They can't prep as hard, right? They can't have good understanding.
I feel like this is where you're just gambling a little bit. If you're JW and eyeballers, you realize that it's going to be a ridiculous battle versus Vitality. But I like that he does this because instead of just going with his tried and tested maps, he's actually trying to go for the win. If you just kind of went for, say, a Mirage or something like that, it would show that, yes, we know you're pretty good at that because you beat FaZe. But then once Vitality downloads the data on you and watches what you did in your last series, they're going to get counter-stratted so much harder. So Anubis means that Vitality's going a little bit more into the dark here. And I would say that probably favors eyeballers because if I'm taking prep-heavy teams or really just the staff behind each roster, I'm siding with Vitality easily.
Very quickly, because we're nearly close to the game. How important is it for eyeballers to just play the way we know and love from them and not like go into their shell, even if some rounds go badly early on?
I mean, I want to see some antics. I want to see if they're going to make a risky pick, make some risky plays. Some of the teams here showed that if they're the underdog, they're going to make a couple smoke pushes. They're going to play off of their own timings, even if there is a semblance of counter utility. So I hope that the confidence is still there. And I hope to see just Bob XD, when he switches over to that CT, or when he's on that CT side, I want to just see him continue to be aggressive against last year's #1 team.
Well, let's see how it goes down. We've got an exciting Anubis to kick off this series. Anubis was the surprise, but these two, they're never a surprise. They're just amazing.
James, you're going to run out of compliments soon, I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's got to.
Welcome to the second half of the day, folks.
Bob XD!
Bob XD in the server up against 2025's #1 team. And
they already took down other major finalist.
Then why not? Why not upset here as well?
Yo, they took both major finalists out.
Imagine. JW back on top.
And back on land, too. Ooh.
What year is it?
Oh, like Maui said, man, imagine this game is on land. That'd just be content, actually. So much content. God, it's going to be fun. And, I mean, there's going to be rounds in there for sure. At least Eyeballers have proved, like, they can really compete. They have some real potential talents and stuff. And with someone like JW, I don't think without someone like JW, you can take down FaZe. Even if it was just a skill question, you had someone equivalent skill, it wouldn't be the same. JW can speak to them and tell them, we can beat this team. I've beaten teams like this my whole life. You can have confidence in yourselves, you know, and I feel like he's the best reminder. He could be like, play that coaching role for a team like this, but is still obviously more than good enough to play. So, well, I mean, you have to take
За тоглолт нэргийн тавтай мөрөл үзэгчтэй та бүхэндээ Blast Bounty Season 1 2026 тэмцээний сүүлийн өдрийн 3 дахь Best of 3 тоглолт Eyeballers versus Vitality багийн тоглолтыг шууд хэмжээний үргэлж бэлэн болоод байна. За дэлхийн шилдэг баг Major тэмцээний аваргууд Vitality багийн эсрэг Eyeballers багийн тоглоход бэлэн болжээ. За Eyeballers багийн хувьд хэм бол Vitality багийг амлан авч тамлан зовоохоор шийдсэн байна. За харин өмнөх тоглолтын дээр бол FaZe Clan-ыг амлан авч 2-1-ийн харьцаатаагаар хожсноор Инхүү стейж 2 руу шалгарч чадсан. За стейж 2 дээр бол бас том багуудыг амлан аваад Vitality багийг амлан авсан байна. Бас л зөрөгтэй хүмүүсийн шийдвэр шүү те. Vitality багийг амлан авдаг. За Major тэмцээний runner-up буюу 2 дугаар байрны шагналт FaZe Clan-ыг хожсон баг шүү дээ guys. Eyeballers JW-тэй баг. За одоо харин аваргуудыг нь нухчихъя гэдэг юм байна. 2 дугаар байрыг нь нухсчлаа. Одоо аваргуудыг л наманчмаар л гэдэг байна. За ямар ч үсэн харжлаа та. Өмнөх тоглолтын дээр JW-г сайн тоглосон гэсэн. Өнөөдөр харин хэр тоглох юм бол доо. Шууд юм асуучих байгаарай бродер. Тэгээд лайка бас дарахаа бити мартаарай. Бас боломжийн 300 лайк гартсан байна өө. Зүг зүгээр байж 300 лайк гарчжээ. За тоглолт маань эхэлсэн байна. Зөвчтэй Best of 3 ихний map Anubis Eyeballers багийн сонгосон map дээр бол тоглолт маань эхэлж байгаа. Тэр урдлаас Vitality багийн давталгаанд Сэтгэлээс Eyeballers багийн хамгаалтанд тоглож байгаа. Connector утаад зүрүүлээд биемийн утаад өгж байгаа. Кулин жимээ сонсоод байгаа ямар тач. За тэр оронд наагаар дайрчиж байгаа юм байна. За өөрөөсөө мэдэгдэж орж ирж байна. За зарлаад орж ирж байгаа Flames шууд хэрэгцсэн. Connector дээр цайрлцсан байгаа. Заюугийн kill Flames-ийг трейдлээд Dropped нэг бол гарч байгаа. За JW City-гээс орж ирээд мэдлийг дарчиж байгаа. Ажигласан Заюугийн трейд эргэж хараад Заюу дахиад ингэ тархиж байгаа. Заюу дэлхийн шилдэг тоглогч яалтч юм уу юм аа. Дэлхийн number 1 муу юм аа. World number 1. Ялтчихо. Зангараа гаруулж шүү. Тоглолтод нэрцэн нэг тийг харьцаатаар pistol round-ыг Vitality багийн амжилттай авсан байна. За энэ нөгөө талаас Force Alpha раунд гарч ирж байгаа юм байна. 2 нэд оруулж ирээд улаан булгаа хийсэн. Та нарын байрлалыг мэдчихэж байгаа шүү л гэдэг нэрөөсөө. Нэг чинь бид нар мэдээд байна. My need-ийг амс гэдээ явуулж штэ. За энэ модли флашыг нэг сурмаар юм да. Сурмаар юм байна да. Өөрхөн амархан хийж болохоор юм байна. За connector орж ирээд контактлаад байгаа Apex. За дээрээс нь бимийн нэг дайрцсан байгаа. Бэг амгаалтан дээр 3 улаа байна. Заагаад тэр чигээр нь хаяад Б рүү явцгаацсан чи яг тэр Агийн сайт руу тоглолт орж ирээд Б-ийн хүмүүсийг тэнэгтүүлж байгаад сайт эзлээд авч байгаа юм байна. За конт гэлсэн. Apex. Dix-ийг унгаж байгаа. За хоёрыг нэвт. За юу? Мизи 2. Жаачлаас нь ийм гаргаад Flames-ийг трейд амжилттай. Зя тоглолтын тань ярьцаа. 2-0 ярьцаатай болсон. Rivalry-ийн Force Spy Alpha раунд алдаад дараагийн раунд дээр рекорд хосор сонголт болж байгаа. Эсвэл Ballar's-ийн Valve rank нь хэтэрхий бага байсан болохоор багууд эсрэг тоглох багууд амлаад авцсан болохоор ер нь бол Ballar's-ийн баг сонголтгүйгээр Vitality үлдсэн байх гэж бодож байна да. Тэрнээс бол яг ч тийм Vitality-г амлаад авчиг гэсэн бодол байхгүй л байсан баг. Йоо, зөвсөрж байгаа дүүрээ тэрэгтүүлж байгаа. Тэнзи. За смокер дайрцсан. За хаалгаар гараад ирчих. Ардаас нь буудна унагаасан. Apex-ийг унгагаа 4 эсрэг тав болгож байгаа. За кагаас үлээд явчихж байгаа. За буу авах гээд эрхийг хүлээгээд байгаа Мezi. Заагийн тоглолт оруулж ирэх нэ Vitality. Б дээр 2 мид 1 А дээр 2 гэсэн хамгаалт. Мид дээр өргөсөлж хагаад. За Heaven нутаад сайт мол идсэн чи молын фейлд чиж. За камер. JW хинзэгээр авч байгаа. Ажиглаас Мезигийн трейд амжилттай. Heaven-гээс гарч ирээд байлтаад байгаа. 3-ээс 2 эсрэг 2. Heaven-гээ нэмээд утсан. За ороод ирсэн. Мэзи. Хоёулын бариад авч байгаа маа. Тоглолтын амьд 3-0 ярьцаатай Vitality-ийн дараалсан 3 раундыг авч байна. За тэр шатны нээд орж ирээд бас хөөрхөн дэмэжлээд авлаа. Агийн сетнээс шатны нээд орж ирсэн. За имэнэ бүр ингэж утдаг юм биш тэгээ айсгөр. За ч Дэв. Юунаа зайрыг жараад зайвууг нэгаа за бомбыг барьчихж байгаа юм байна шүү дээ. За битэн өнөр бикэлсэн ропт сонсон JW. Малинас төрж байгаа байлцч. Авч чадаагүй 3-1 ярцаатайгаар анхны full buy раунд авчиж байгаа юм байна. Eyeballers. Монголцынхан Айн Краков тэмцээний стейж 1-ээс гарч ирсэн 8 баг айл нэгэнтэй тоглоно. Тийм учраас одоогийн байдлаар бол хинтээ тоглох нь бол тодорхойгүй. Йоо, завсруу битлээ зайвууг нь гачаад явчихж байгаа. Конос битлээд. За флаш нар гарч ирэх гэж байгаа юм. Тэрийг мэдээд Мези 2-ыг нэгаад авч байгаа. Смокнос Apex Geo Canos гарч ирээд бариад авч байгаа юм байна. За бэгийн сетний эзэлгийн амжилттай бомба тавьсан. Хаалаа ягаас сэргнээс нь болчихва. За өдөр стрим дээр лайк дараарай залуусаа. Лайк, subscribe бас дарахаа битэн мартаарай. Subscribe болон лайк дараарай. Тэгээд дахин нэг удаа мэдээлэл өргөх гэдэг бол YouTube дээр бол байнгын copyright аваад байгаа учраас одооноос бол давхар явах стримүүдээ дандаа Twitch дээр явахаар шийдсэн байгаа. Тийм учраас манайхан Twitch руу бас дараагийн стримнээс орж ирж үзээрэй guys. За дараагийн стрим хэм бол 1 сарын 22-наас 25-ны хооронд болох Blast Bounty Season 1 Final тэмцээн байгаа. 8 багийн лангийн тэмцээн. 1 сая 150 мянган долларын шагналын сантай. Олон удаа юу нь бол YouTube-с copyright аваад байгаа учраас Twitch дээр л давхар хийхгүй болохгүй нь байна. Тэгээ манай Монгол интернет Twitch руу хандах хандлт нь гацдаг хэвээрээ байгаа юм guys. Та нар ер нь Twitch үздэг. Би ер нь Twitch үзээгүй нэлээд удсан л байна л да. Twitch руу хандах хандлт хэр байна? Гацж гин үү яа чи 1080 бичлэг үзэж болж гин үү? Одоо Twitch үздэг хүн байдаг уу? Одоо тэгээ e-sport сонирхдаг бол тэгэл Twitch үзэхээс аргагүй л нөхцөл байдал үүсчихэд байна л та. YouTube-ийн хууль чангалцаа одоо тэгээд Twitch рүүгээл явна да. Кик дээр болдог бол хийж мэрэл юм guys. Цаанаас болохгүй гэдэг юм уу? Зүгээр геймплей стримийг кик дээр хийж болно. Харин шууд дамжуулалт, тэмцээний шууд дамжуулалтыг кик дээр яагаад хийж болохгүй гэсэн. Тийм учраас өөр сонголтол твичлээ. За бид нар эзлээд аваад ирж байгаа. Таваа зэрүүлтвэ. Толгоон дээр бэлдсэн байж байгаа алдчихжээ. За JW ямар гоё 2 кил оруулаад тэр бай. За хийвэнгээс шууд буугаад байлтандаа. Орж ирээ тархитж байгаа. Бомбо тавьж хэмжээг байгаа. Багг болцсон. За дахиад онсон ропод тоглолтын нарч 4-2 ярьцаад байгаа. Vitality-ийн раунд алдчихж байгаа юм байна. Жишээ нь би сая 4 өдөр стрим хийхэд 3 өдөр өнөөдөртөө нийлээд 3 өдөр копирайт авлаа. Сүүл рүүгээ бүр өнөөдөр копирайтаа бүр авахуулж иж дахиж стрим хийгэрэй гэд танаас тэгж хэлээ. Тэгээд авахуулж байгаа стрим хийсэн. За тэр 2 дахь нейдийг бол ойлгосонгүй. Тэр 2 дахь нейдийг яа болтой. Тэр бараг шат руу явах гэжсэн нейдл ханамрөгч шиг боллоо да. За дахиад агийн сетап оруулна гинэ. За камер молли доо. За JW-ийн одоо буудалтай алдсан. За Vitality нэг раунд алдчихараа дараагийн раундын дээр л мангар ууртаа орж ирэх юм те. Бид тэрийг яаж ийна? Тэр нэг юм багийг яаж ийна гэж орж ирж байна.